Philippine National Police Chief Ronald Dela Rosa says there's no need to change anything in the police's guidelines in the war on drugs. Dela Rosa was referring to the Supreme Court petition filed against their memorandum circular, which launched Oplan Double Barrel. Petitioners claim the order is unconstitutional as it set the PNP's campaign in motion without a formal order from President Rodrigo Duterte, and that the memorandum supposedly allowed room for abuse. They want the memorandum struck down or revised. Dela Rosa says, quote, "I don't consider that as a lesson. There is a play of words that they want to ram down our throats. We won't take debate. We will not change the memorandum circular. We stand by it." He adds they will only change or revoke the memorandum if the SC declares it unconstitutional.
Pero kung sabihin na kung Supreme Court na unconstitutional and illegal, well,
the PNP is now waiting for its return to the war on drugs after Duterte said he would tap the police again. Manila Times reporter Jomar Canlas on Monday denies Associate Justice Teresita Leonardo-De was his source in a story about an allegedly falsified temporary restraining order that is now among the basis of an impeachment complaint against Chief Justice Maria Lourdes Sereno. Canlas makes the statement as he spoke before the House Committee on Justice, which is tackling an impeachment complaint filed by lawyer Larry Gadon. Gadon earlier said he first got wind of the controversial issues through Canlas's June 2013 article titled "Justice Blasts Sereno Over TRO Mess." He says he spoke to Canlas and Supreme Court personnel about the issue. He later supposedly got confirmation from De Castro herself through a common friend. Gadon claims Canlas got his information from De Castro, an assertion De Castro herself has already denied. In Canlas's 2013 report, he says several justices threatened to confront Sereno over the controversial TRO. Sereno allegedly changed the recommendation made by De Castro, who was the ponente of the TRO. Canlas, who covers the judiciary, says he does not and has not revealed his sources. Canlas has written exclusive stories about the SC, citing anonymous sources and insiders. Gadon changes his tune following Canlas's sworn statement, saying a lot of people gave him information during those times. He says, quote, "I cannot remember if it was Canlas who intimated to me, but I spoke to him several times. It does not change the fact that there is an article about the TRO." The Mora Islamic Liberation Front is confident the Duterte administration will treat differently its clamor to reach the culmination of their peace deal. This after President Rodrigo Duterte formally terminated peace talks with the National Democratic Front. MILF chief negotiator Mohagher Iqbal says the government's peace dealings with the MILF comes from another point in ideological terms. Iqbal says, quote, "For us, what we're asking is political settlement. We don't care about the system of government. We don't care who is running the government." He adds, quote, "What they're asking for is communism. There is no meeting point with capitalism. And the traditional way to change the system is to replace the government. So that cannot be possible. There can be no possible compromise." The MILF is pushing for the passing of the Bangsamoro Basic Law, a law which would pave way to mount the Bangsamoro entity, a culmination of a peace deal between the two parties. The leaders of the MILF are expected to meet Duterte in the Bangsamoro Assembly Monday in Sultan Kudarat, Maguindanao. Some 500,000 people are expected to attend the said assembly. The Land Transportation Office revokes the driver's license of actress and former beauty queen Maria Isabel Lopez after she breached the special lane designated for delegates of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations Summit. Lopez is prohibited from reapplying and reacquiring a license for the next 2 years. She will also pay fines amounting to 8,000 pesos for violating the Anti-Distracted Driving Act, disregarding traffic signs, and reckless driving. Lopez bragged in a Facebook post that she removed the divider cone separating the ASEAN lane from the lanes open to the public. She later apologized for her behavior, saying she's just human. The special lane was part of the traffic and security arrangements for the ASEAN summit earlier this month. It caused heavy traffic along EDSA, leaving regular motorists and commuters stuck on the road for hours. LTO Chief Edgar Galvante last Thursday said Lopez offered a lame and merely self-serving excuse for breaching the ASEAN lane. The LTO also slammed Lopez for bragging about her misconduct on social media, which means she was aware she was committing a traffic violation. Miss South Africa Demi-Leigh Nel-Peters is Miss Universe 2017. Nel-Peters beats Miss Colombia Laura Gonzalez and Miss Jamaica Davina Bennett for this year's crown. Miss Philippines Rachel Peters gets into the top 10, but fails to sneak into the top 5. Nel-Peters is the second Miss Universe from South Africa. She follows in the footsteps of Margaret Gardiner, who was crowned Miss Universe in 1978.